Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Pachehra Talks. My name is Arun, and I'm Solutions Architect, MCT, and I'm working with Novintech, which is one of the best organization to work with. This is my channel, and these are my views on FinOps. Yes, today we are going to start a very interesting topic and very known nowadays in cloud computing, FinOps. So let's quickly go through the agenda. So we'll understand what is FinOps in this video, why we need it, what are the principles it works on, and how we can implement those principles in our environment, what's the benefits that we achieve, and finally conclude it. Or rather, we'll conclude with each and every principles that we'll talk about. All right, so let's start with what it is and why we need it. All right, so just stay with me and try to understand it. Well, FinOps is relatively new concept in cloud computing. It's actively developing and being implemented to help companies adopt a cloud environment in a smart, secure, and transparent way. We do understand everything and anything which runs on cloud is runs on pay-as-you-go model or OPEX, right? Hence, finance is going to attached with the operations because whatever is happening in the operations, there is a money involved. So that's the main idea behind it. And hence, FinOps is not about only saving some money on your cloud IT infrastructure. This methodology aims to build an effective cloud environment to ensure the quickest and most profitable business growth, enable more productivity, new feature releases, and higher ROI. So it is going to impact the entire business. It's going to cover not only the IT team, but it will move around with all the teams. Not only the engineers, but it will go up to all the departments, including finance, CTO, CIO, everything. We will cover. Just stay with me and try to understand this big concept. So, FinOps is all about profitable, flexible, and agile management, as well as successful and meaningful collaboration among departments, as I said, right? Such as engineering, financial, and management. It is a continuous process of improvement on all IT processes to identify and remove bottlenecks and blockers, enable engineering teams to update products faster, implement cloud migration strategies in a timely manner, and fully identify when you are in the red, let's call it red, or when it's time to invest more. So, in short, it's financial operations, right? FinOps. FinOps is a cloud financial management discipline and cultural practice that aims to bring financial accountability to the variable spend model of cloud computing. It focuses on enabling teams to make business decisions faster while managing and optimizing cloud cost more effectively. Although the principles of FinOps are cloud agnostic and can be applied across any platform, including Azure, AWS, Google Cloud, etc., each platform has its own tools as well that can be supportive in FinOps practices. Right, so I think now we have a decent understanding of FinOps. Not all, because it is a wider concept which goes in from east to west and north to south, everywhere in an organization. And it has dependencies as well, which helps to achieve the business goals along with all other aspects of any organization. So let's continue understanding how it started, why it started, and then we'll dig the principles. All right, so hear this out. When let's take a step back. about bare metal and private clouds, which typically involve upfront investment, capex. Also has opex, but typically involve upfront investment, capex, while public cloud operates on a pay-as-you-go model, opex. For large companies, managing the mix of capex for private resources and opex for public cloud use can be challenging. This complexity arises when engineering teams freely use resources in public clouds, potentially leading to unexpectedly high bills and complex financial management. FinOps emerged as a solution to this problem, offering best practices and processes to help companies efficiently manage and optimize cloud cost, easing the financial complexity of using hybrid cloud environment. Not only hybrid cloud environment, but because we started this way, in any cloud environment. Okay. So how can we go with this FinOps? Now we understand what it is and why we need it. And let's see the principles so that we can understand it better. So we have four principles in FinOps. And if you see it holistically, you'll find all those principles is about what is happening in the cloud, who is running those resources, what is running in those resources, do we need it, or who needs it, those kind of things. So awareness and the relation of that with the business goals. That's the holistic understanding, but let's understand these four and then pick one by one to understand it better. So visibility is all about cloud spending, transparency, and forecasting. What is happening? Optimization is cloud expense optimization, things that we don't need or things which can be taken care of with smaller sizes or discounts and things like that. Control is like an established process of monitoring and controlling cloud resources and their expenses, who can do what they can do. Collaboration is something which is very interesting in FinOps because FinOps is not about one person at a company, but a constant collaboration between engineers and their managers, between R&D, operations, and financial departments, CTO, CIO, and VPs as well. All right, so let's try to dig each of these principles to understand how this will help us to implement the FinOps practices in our environment. So let's start with the visibility. All right. So we understand it is cloud spending, transparency, and forecasting, but what it is and how can we implement it? And what are the benefits that we'll get out of it once it is implemented successfully? So gaining a clear understanding of current cloud spending and the ability to predict future expenses. Visibility means having detailed insights into which services are being used, by whom, and at what cost. Without visibility into cloud spending, organization can quickly incur unnecessary cost. Understanding current spending and forecasting future expenses allow for better financial planning and cost management. You should have the money to pay your cloud bills every month. So it is all directly connected to the business, to each other. It's OPEX, not CAPEX, as we stated at the beginning, right? So we need that visibility. We need that forecasting, right? So how can we implement it? Well, we can utilize cloud cost management tools provided by cloud service providers by themselves, like Azure Cost Management or AWS Cost Explorer, to track spending across different services and departments. We should have the strategies in place like tagging on each resource for resources to categorize spending by project, department, or any other relevant dimension. Regularly, we should review reports and dashboards to monitor trends and forecast future spending. All these things will help us to achieve the visibility. Now, let's take an example to understand it better. A multinational corporation with diverse teams globally uses Azure Cost Management to track their cloud spending. They implement a detailed tagging strategy where every resource is tagged with the department name, project code, and environment like prod, dev, test. This allows them to allocate cost accurately and identify which projects or departments are driving cloud spending. They set up automated monthly reports and dashboards that break down spending by these tags and use predictive analytics within Azure Cost Management to forecast future expenses based on historical trends and take a wise decision. So, what are the benefits that we are getting out of it? As you can see, it will help us to identify wastage, financial planning, and of course, accountability. So let's suppose the finance team noticed that the development environment were running 24/7, which leads to unnecessary cost. By shifting to a schedule where these environments were only available during working hours, they can significantly reduce their cloud expenses. We can only get to this solution once we identify or once we have the visibility about the different environments through tagging and the usage. So, visibility. Now, with clear visibility into current and forecasted spending, the organization was able to allocate budget more accurately to different departments and projects, ensuring sufficient resources were available for strategic initiatives, which is more important for the business. So, financial planning, it will help you to plan your finance to run business effectively while running IT efficiently. So, let's suppose PMs and department heads now, with access to detailed reports on their cloud usage, became more conscious of their spending. This led to more efficient use of cloud resources as teams actively sought ways to optimize their deployments without impacting the performance. All right, so let's conclude visibility, and I'm pretty sure you have a very good and decent idea what this principle is. So, the visibility principle in Cloud FinOps is foundational for organizations aiming to optimize their cloud investments. By implementing effective cloud cost management tools, tagging strategies, and regular financial reviews, and many more, organizations gain the insight needed to control spending, plan budgets more accurately, and foster a culture of accountability. This not only helps in reducing unnecessary expenses, but also ensures cloud resources are effectively utilized, contributing to the organization's overall financial and operational success. It's about aiming to optimize cloud investment, not only cloud environment. All right, so let's pick the second principle, cloud expense optimization. We all know that, and most of the people think this is what the FinOps is, optimization. But this is one of the principle which covers most of it, and one of the goal is, of course, it is, but not entirely FinOps. So, cloud cost optimization is essential in FinOps because it ensures that an organization's investment in cloud services is rationalized and aligned with actual business needs and provide value. As cloud spending can quickly spiral due to the pay as you go model, optimization practices help prevent wasteful expenditure, allowing funds to be allocated more effectively towards innovation and growth. It strikes a balance between cost, performance, and functionality, ensuring that cloud environments are not just cost effective but also high performing and scalable to meet the business demands. This gives you a very beautiful picture. It's not only about optimizing cost but also high performing. So, what it is? Well, continuously seeking ways to reduce cost without compromising on performance or functionality. This involves selecting the right sized resources, taking advantage of discounts, and removing unnecessary spending and wastage. All right, now we do understand what it is. Now, tell me how we can implement it. All right, so the very first thing is we gotta regularly review and adjust resource sizing. So how can we do that? There are tools like Azure Advisor or AWS Trusted Advisor to analyze utilization metrics and also recommend resizing. You have monitors in place like Azure Monitor, and the metrics can give you the information, relevant information about various resources. Uh, and you can definitely resize the resources. For example, let's suppose there is an application or maybe an e-commerce platform finds that their VMs are only 40% utilized on average. So by resizing these VMs to a smaller specification that matches their usage patterns, this significantly reduces monthly cost. And this practice directly lowers the monthly cloud bills by ensuring that payments reflect the actual resource usage, preventing overpayment for underutilized resources. We should also leverage discounts or preserved instances or saving plans or spot instances. There are so many are there available when you talk to the cloud service provider. They will let you know. But these are the common ones like reserve instances, saving plans, or spot instances. So you got to analyze usage patterns and commit to reserved instances for predictable workload. Adopt saving plans for flexible usage or use spot instance for non-critical interruptible workloads. It's very straightforward. Just to understand, you need to find out or analyze the usage pattern and accordingly use the various discounts or model where we get the discount. Let's suppose there is a software development company uses spot instance for development and testing environment during the workday, reducing compute cost up to 90% compared to on-demand prices. While taking advantage of these pricing models, we can significantly reduce cloud cost, especially for long-term stable workloads or flexible and interruptible tasks. Now, along with this, we can also do some automation. We can have automation for the auto scaling. We can have automation for the stopping or scaling down of non-critical resources during off hours. So how can we implement those? Well, implement automation scripts or use cloud service provider features to scale down or shut off non-essential services during nights and weekends are readily available for the people who actually knows how to adopt cloud properly. Do not think cloud is just like another data center. You have to plan with the cloud mindset that we have already covered in many videos, specifically on cloud adoption one. So let's suppose there is a data analysis firm uses auto scaling to reduce the number of running instance of their data processing application during off peak hours. effectively halving down their running cost, minimizing their running cost, if that is not the actual word. All right, so automation ensures that you are only paying for resources when they are genuinely needed, reducing cost without manual intervention and aligning spending with usage. So how can we conclude this, because it seems pretty straightforward to me, and interesting. All right, but for the sake of this learning video, let's say the principle of optimization within cloud FinOps is crucial for managing cloud expenses effectively. By implementing strategies such as resource resizing, leverage cost saving plans, or automating, or many more are available out there, but these are the three mains. Organizations can ensure that their cloud infrastructure is not only cost efficient, but also perfectly tailored to their operational requirements. This approach not only cuts down unnecessary spending, but also maximizes the value derived from the cloud investments, which is the main purpose. That's why you came to the cloud at the very first. Allowing organization to invest more in areas that drive business growth and innovation, ROI. All right, so it was a very interesting discussion and insightful, of course. Let's check out the third principle, which is control. As it says control, it's pretty clear: an established process of monitoring and controlling cloud resources and their expenses. That's what it actually means. But what it is? Well, it is about implementing governance and policies to manage cloud resource provisioning and usage, ensuring that spending stays within budget and complies with organizational policies. In this dynamic environment of cloud computing, where resources can be provisioned and scaled with a few clicks, there is a significant risk of overspending and non-compliance with organizational policies. Without proper control mechanism, companies may find their cloud expenses spiraling out of control, or they may end up with configuration that do not comply with required standards. It is increasing your cost, making you non-compliant, putting you on security risk. Well, hence so many reasons, right? So implementing governance and control over cloud resource ensures that cloud spending is both optimized and aligned with the strategic goals of the organization, and not just putting everything on risk. So we need to know now what is the way to implement it, because we understood the value that we'll get out of this control, why it is important. We know now. Now we are so keen to know how we can implement it. All right, let me tell you. We got established policies for resource provisionings. For example, a company might implement a policy that only team leads can approve the creation of new virtual machines that exceed certain cost threshold. Just an example, but a wonderful idea for your customized IAM. All right, this can be done by creating custom roles in the cloud management platform and assigning them to appropriate staff members, ensuring that only authorized personnel can provision resources beyond predefined limits. And those, for example, Azure AD and RBAC and custom roles are already available, but we should know how to adopt them properly. We're going to use policy or tools for code like a Terraform. So these Terraform or Azure policy to define infrastructure policies as code. For instance, a policy could automatically tag new resources or stop you deploying without tagging the proper tag. With the cost center and project code for cost tracking, it will streamline your infrastructure, and no snowflakes would be available there, no security risk. And how can we implement? We can develop policy templates that include all necessary compliance and governance rules. These templates are then applied automatically as a part of CI/CD pipeline whenever infrastructure is provision updated. And we can also have such policies available in Azure policies, where if condition is not met, it can solve it. It can apply those tags, or it will not allow you to deploy until the condition is met. We can set up alerts for spending thresholds that will help us to control, right? So, how? Well, configuring Azure Cost Management to send alerts to the finance and project management teams when monthly spending on cloud services exceeds XYZ number of the budget, let's suppose 80% of the budget. How can we implement? It's there on the platform, in the cloud platform. For example, in the cost management tool, configure alert rules based on spending thresholds and make sure you specify the stakeholders to be notified, ensuring timely intervention before the budget is exceeded. We want this alert to reach to the right person, right? And while implementing all those things, what benefits we think we are getting out of it? Well, we can all is can anticipate what all things or great things we are getting out of it. For example, we are preventing unauthorized or non-compliant resource provisioning, which is very important from all the perspectives, specifically security and cost. By enforcing who can provision what resources and under which condition, a company can avoid situations where an employee uh, unknowingly or knowingly launches a large number of high cost resources, leading to unexpected expenses. It will help in keeping cloud cost within budget. Or because we talked about the budget alerts and all things, you can simply help us. So it also ensures organizational policies and compliance standards are met by utilizing Azure policies. So, for example, you can take an example of an healthcare company here, and you like to, because it's a healthcare company, which means we got to ensure that all deployed resources comply with HIPAA regulations, thus avoiding potential legal and reputational risk. You can do that. Or now, we understood the value of control. We understood how can we achieve it with few examples and few resources. And now it's time to understand the third one. But before we go and talk about the collaboration, which is the last but not the least principle, let's conclude this. The control principle. The control principle of cloud FinOps is fundamental for maintaining financial discipline in cloud environment. Because this is FinOps, so our every understanding is going from that perspective. Though achieving FinOps will also help you optimizing performance, security. That's a second thing. But first, primary is FinOps. So it enables organization to enjoy the scalability and flexibility of the cloud while ensuring that spending remains predictable and governance standards are upheld. Through careful implementation of policies, use of, let's say, policy as code tools, and spending alerts, companies can safeguard their cloud environments against financial and compliance risks. All right, so it's all clear. We all are happy. Let's learn the collaboration then. All right, let's go to collaboration. So it's a very interesting word, and we all know what it is. We talked about collaboration in our DevOps practices, in our adoption framework, in many other ways. But why here? What it is? Because FinOps is not a single man job. Okay, then what it is? Well, recognizing that cloud financial management is a cross functional discipline that requires input and cooperation from various parts of the organization, including technical team, finance, and executive leaderships. So, okay, now we started making some sense out of it. Why we need it? Again? Okay. Organizations adopting cloud services often face challenges in managing costs due to the dynamic and scalable nature of the cloud pricing models. Without proper collaboration, a technical team might prioritize performance over cost, leading to over provisioning of resources. But if the same thing is doing done by the financial team, what do you think they will be doing? Well, financial department may lack visibility into the operational necessity behind certain expenses, pushing for cuts that would impact the performance. So both team has different goals and their action will impacting other team's goal. Strategic business objective might not be fully supported by the cloud architecture in place due to disconnect between planning and execution. That's why collaboration bridges these gaps, ensuring that cloud spending aligns with both the technical needs and the financial health of the organization. Let's take some example, implementation example. Let's do this. We got to, how can we implement it? We are going to forming a finance team. Let's take an example. A retail company experiencing seasonal traffic spikes establish a FinOps team. This team, which is established by retail company because they're experiencing some spikes, this team includes cloud architects from the R&D department. It's a FinOps team, right? But it is coming from various departments or maybe representative of the various departments. So the team includes cloud architects from R&D department, financial analyst, and a representative from the executive leadership. Their goal is to align cloud resource utilization with anticipated sales campaigns, ensuring the infrastructure can handle traffic spikes without unnecessary overspending during off-peak hour. Okay, all right. Mhm. Now, let's take regular cross-functional meetings. This is another thing that we should implement. An online gaming company holds monthly FinOps meetings where engineers report on current resource utilization, financial analysts present on the cost implications, and department heads discuss upcoming feature releases. Together, they review performance metrics against budget forecast and adjust their cloud strategy to support new game launches efficiently. With this example, we can understand how collaboration is important and why these cross-functional meetings are there to get the FinOps successful. Let's take another uh, way we can implement the collaboration. The very first was forming a FinOps team from various departments and then doing the regular cross-functional meetings to understand the requirement with respect to business resource and money. Encouraging open communication. Yes, we'll understand this. We've got to implement open communication culture. This will enhance the collaboration and it will help in FinOps. Stay with me for this example. Let's suppose there is a software development firm implements an internal portal where team members can suggest cost saving ideas, report on inefficiencies, and share success stories of optimization. This portal serves as a collaborative platform for sharing insights and encourages a culture where everyone feels responsible for managing cloud cost, accountability, and everyone is working towards the same goal, right? So these are some implementation ways, the way we can implement the collaboration in our team to achieve the successful FinOps implementation. And what are the benefits that we are seeing out of it? Well, by involving all stakeholders in the decision-making process, a healthcare analytics company can precisely scale its cloud infrastructure to support an AI-driven diagnostic tool rollout, ensuring that the project stays within the budget while meeting all technical and compliance requirements, which means align decisions with the business goals. It can promote cost awareness and efficiency because everybody is involved, right? One of the benefit, and of course facilitate sharing best practices across. and that will help learning each and every one. It's a very good learning culture there. So let's conclude by saying collaboration is the effective way or effective practice of FinOps, or important one too, because this is the fourth principle, and that's why it's a principle, because it is important. Forget it. Okay, stay with me. By fostering a culture where finance, technology, and business units work together, organizations can ensure that their cloud spending is both efficient and aligned with broader business objectives. This collaborative approach not only optimizes cost but also enhances agility, enable companies to leverage the full potential of the cloud in supporting their growth and innovation strategies. With this, we gonna end the video, and I hope this was really helpful, and we are going to cover a couple of more videos in FinOps, because we need to understand the gap, the difference between cloud optimization that most of the people think is FinOps and what exactly is the FinOps, and few more interesting things about the FinOps. And I know you need to know all those important stuff while you talk to your customer, you talk to your team, and when you implement it. And that's all. I hope it was informative and you guys learned something new today. Well, thank you for watching and have a wonderful day. Bye bye.